What's something only kids who grew up poor truly understand? I was 11 when I learned just how expensive a free lunch could be. My school had a bizarre tray system, green trays for kids who paid for lunch, and blue trays for kids like me, on assistance. It was like they wanted to slap a giant poor label on our foreheads. That Thursday, I was late to the cafeteria because Mr. Peterson kept me after class. By the time I got there, the lunch line was out the door. "Hurry up, Martinez!" the lunch lady barked. "Green or blue?" The room fell silent. I felt every eye lock onto me. "Be blue," I mumbled. She shoved the tray across the counter without emotion. As I turned away, I saw Aiden Matthews, the richest kid in school, nudge his friend and smirk. "Classic blue tray cuisine," he snorted. "Government cheese, baby." My face burned. I looked down, trying not to spill my spaghetti and milk carton. Then it happened. Aiden stuck out his foot as I passed. I saw it, but too late. The tray flew. Spaghetti exploded across the floor. Milk splattered. Worst of all, that blue tray, my badge of shame, skidded across the cafeteria like a neon sign. The whole place erupted in laughter. "Oops," Aiden said with a shrug. "Guess your funding didn't cover balance lessons." I got down on my knees trying to clean up the mess with napkins so thin they disintegrated when wet. Ms. Winters, the lunch supervisor, rushed over. "Go get Mr. Reyes's mop," she said. I weaved through the maze of tables to find the janitor. When I got back, Aiden and his crew were playing leapfrog over the wreckage of my lunch like it was a puddle of mud. "Look, poverty zone," one of them joked. I scrubbed the floor in silence while my stomach churned. There were no second helpings. Free lunch kids got one shot. I'd have to wait until dinner, and dinner would be whatever my mom could make from a nearly empty fridge. When the bell rang, I walked back to class with an empty belly and a heavier heart. At home, I found my mom passed out on the couch, still in her cleaning uniform from her morning shift. On the kitchen counter was a note. "Dinner in the fridge. Love you." Inside was a single container, leftovers she'd brought home from the hotel where she worked. She'd skipped her own meal so I could eat. I sat at our wobbly kitchen table and cried quietly, my tears falling into cold mashed potatoes. The next morning, she woke me up earlier than usual. Still groggy, I saw her holding something in her hand. "I've got something for you," she said, stuffing a crumpled $5 bill into my palm. "Use it for lunch today." I froze. I knew what that $5 meant. It was her bus fare for the entire week. Walking to work would add an hour to her already back-breaking day, and she was already working double shifts at the motel. "I can't take this," I choked. "Just for today," she cut me off. "Sometimes a girl needs to choose her own lunch." At school, I held that bill like a treasure. When it was my turn in line, my heart pounded. "Green," I said, steadier than I felt. The lunch lady looked surprised, but handed me the green tray without comment. I paid, pocketing the small handful of change. As I turned with the tray, I locked eyes with Aiden. And for the first time, I didn't look away. That night, I put the leftover change, $1.27, into an old coffee tin hidden in my closet. The next day, I was back to the blue tray. But from that point on, once every few weeks, whenever I scraped together enough from recycling cans or loose change on the sidewalk, I'd buy lunch with a green tray. Not because it made me feel richer, but because it gave me a moment of freedom, of choice, of dignity. It took years to truly understand the cost of that moment, what my mom sacrificed so I could feel normal just for a day, so I wouldn't be mocked, stared at, or labeled. And it took even longer to learn how to hold my head high, even when I was carrying the blue tray.